Hello, my name is Joseph Alai. Welcome to my channel. And today I'd like to talk about how I imagine at night. This is a question that's asked commonly because a lot of people sometimes struggle with imagining. And what I can tell you is this, is that we all have an imagination and we all can imagine. And all it takes is to use our imagination in order for us to manifest the things that we desire. So when I am getting ready for bed, if I haven't done so already, I'll outline the thing that I want to imagine. And in order to do this, I outline a scene that would imply that I am now the person that I want to be. So this means that I take a time in space where I am who I want to be, which means after the desire has been fulfilled. This is a crucial distinction. We do not want to imagine anything before the desire has been fulfilled, because when this manifestation is executed, when the imaginal act is impressed upon the subconscious mind, it will execute in its same likeness. So imagining anything before the end will mean that we are manifesting something before the end. So again, we take a scene that would imply that we are now the person that we want to be. So if that means that you wanted to be with a specific person, or that you wanted a specific job, or we'll go with the specific person, I would first of all figure out who that specific person was. And I would outline a scene that would imply that say we want to be married, and make the scene explain that I am married. So it would maybe be in bed with a wedding ring on, and then them with their wedding ring on. And simple as that, right? That is proof that I am already married. So at this point, I have the scene that I desire. Just for clarity, I'll give you another scene, and that would be perhaps if you wanted a raise at your job or to have a certain sum of money. The scene that I would use maybe is having a conversation with a loved one about how happy I am that I have this extra money, or that I am now in this position at work. So having outlined that scene, I will now immobilize my body, because the idea here now is to shut off the senses, to stop creating the things that I'm seeing with my senses, but instead create the thing that I'm imagining. So we shut off the senses, we imagine the scene, we feel it, we drop it, or we fall asleep, and that's it. So, but, described better, I immobilize the body. I lay down on my back generally. For me, I generally sleep on my side, so I will lay on my back so that I don't fall asleep during imagining. When I lay down, I'll begin to breathe, generally through my stomach, and I'll focus on my breathing. And that way, I am not focused on anything else except for my breathing, which means I'm in the present moment, which means that my mind is not wandering anywhere else except for now. Breathing and focusing on my breathing. If for some reason I still cannot clear my mind, I'll then begin to count down, generally from 300. I never get down to the bottom, and the reason I choose 300 is because I know that I'm not going to get down to 0, so I'm not worried about that. Some number. You can choose any number. It doesn't matter. But say I do this. I start breathing in through my stomach. I start counting back from 300. At this point, when I'm focused on my breathing, when I'm focused on counting, I'm not thinking about anything else in this world. If I do, I bring it back. If I do, I bring it back. Over and over, however many times it takes. When I am finally in the present moment, when I'm finally relaxed, that is when I will start to bring that scene that I have outlined into my mind's eye, into my imagination. Generally, this scene is best if it's short, so we don't have to remember much. We know the thing that we want, condense it into a short scene, clarity of form, as Neville says, and bring it into our imagination. So sometimes, like with my eyes closed, at first I will see nothing. It's just black. At best, it's shadowy. And that's actually perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong imagining that way. I have manifested thousands of things with just this shadowy figures or nothing that I can see. You know right now that if you close your eyes and say that you hold an apple in your hand, you know that the apple's in your hand. You can't physically see it with your eyes because your eyes are closed. But nevertheless, in your senses, in your spiritual senses, in your imaginal senses, you can feel this, right? So that's what I'm talking about here. We do not need to actually see. And this is a point that people have asked me time and time again. If it's black, if it's shadowy, if it's nothing, that's okay. We just have to be able to imagine it. So I bring this scene into my imagination. I materialize it. But first, I generally look at my hands, right? In my imagination, I start by looking at my hands, right? I know my hands. They're very familiar to me. I know what my tattoos look like. They're very familiar to me too. So I will bring my hands, because I'm supposed to be looking first person. That's very important. That's another critical distinction, that it must be in first person point of view because it is replicated, the thing that we imagine, right? It's replicated. So if we're looking at ourselves receiving the thing that we want or being the person that we want, that's what will manifest. But if we're looking at ourselves in third person as an outside entity, then we will witness an outside entity receiving the thing that we want. So doing that, I look at my hands and then maybe I'll look down at my waist and then I'll look down at my feet. And however long it takes for me to do this, this is what I must do because my mind will tend to wander a lot, especially if I have not been practicing this. Even a matter of days, my imagination, my mind will wander a lot. So I will take the time, whether it takes a minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, to make sure that I am fully present in the imagination without my mind wandering. And once I do this, I will then begin to walk, right? And sometimes my feet want to walk automatically. Sometimes my hand want to start moving automatically. I bring it back. Sometimes in real life, I have to tense my muscles, as if I'm really doing it in real life, and it will make my hands stay still or my feet stay still or move when I want them to move. Once I have done this, then I will start materializing the scene, right? Whatever that means. If it is in bed with someone, I will then start to imagine me laying on the bed with them, and however long it takes for me to, if my mind wanders, I bring it back. If my mind wanders, I bring it back. However long it takes for me to get them to stay in the bed with me and the bed to take place, to stay in place, or whatever it is that's around me, how the room looks, right? Because the idea here is to materialize it with real vividness, with sensory vividness, so that we can catch the mood of actually being there. However long this takes, however many tries it takes, however many times I have to bring my back down to the present moment, that is what I do. And if it takes a minute, if it takes 5 minutes, if it takes 10 minutes, however long it takes, I wait for that to happen. And once that happens, then I will play the scene. If it's them saying something, if it's me holding them, if it's just looking down and moving the wedding ring on my finger, whatever the case may be, once everything is set in place, I will play the scene with full sensory vividness. Whatever needs to be said, whatever I need to hear, whatever I need to feel with my sensations, whatever mood I have to be in, those are the things that I focus on. That is the feeling of the wish fulfilled, the mood of being in the scene. And once I do that, I start to replay it over and over and over and over again. And each time bringing a little bit more detail in this scene, right? And this is why I suggest a short scene, because when it's short, it's easy. There's not much to remember. It's simply bringing it in, making it a few seconds long, repeating it over and over, and catching the mood of being in there. That is what is meant by the feeling of the wish fulfilled. It's not a feeling of just excitement generally. It's not a feeling of happiness generally. It's the feeling of the mood as if you were actually in this scene. The bed on your shoulder, the person's warmth next to you, right? And if you're doing this for, say, a job or a raise, it would be maybe on the phone with them and holding the phone in the hand and hearing their voice saying, Joe, I'm so happy for you that this happened to you, that you're doing now exactly what you want to do, or that you're making exactly what you wanted to make. Congratulations. And I would then say back, I know, this is awesome. Thank you so much. Or if the person was in front of me, we would have this conversation. Me looking at them, seeing what they're wearing, maybe shaking hands with a congratulations. Anything that would embody the wish fulfilled. And then the mood of, feeling happy that they complimented me or feeling proud. And once I do this, I repeat this scene over and over until it takes on the tones of reality, true vividness of reality, so that it's fused with reality, as if it's really something that I've experienced, as if it's really a memory, right? And just to keep in mind, you don't have to see the things with your physical eyes when your eyes are closed for it to manifest, right? Like I said, I've done this so many times without doing that. But what I do want to say is this. And by the way, after you have caught that mood, if you fall asleep while in that state, I have never seen it fail. I do not always do this. It's actually rare for me to fall asleep while in that imagination, while in that scene. But if you can do this, that is the ideal scenario. That is pure imagination. It's pure subconscious. Is when you're about to go to sleep and you bring it into your imagination. That is what you generally, if you can do that, that's the best case scenario. If not, that's perfectly okay too. You will still impress upon the subconscious mind the thing that you want. I have manifested, like I said, thousands and thousands of times, not falling asleep in the actual state. Nevertheless, when I'm done with the scene, I can choose then to do another scene, or I can choose to fall asleep, and that's it. As I was going to mention before, if you persist in your imaginal acts, I know that I experienced this. The figures can actually start to be present in your imagination. You will actually begin to see these things, and they will stay put. You can look around. If you move your head and you're looking at other things, they will actually stay put. I realize when doing this, that's when I start to have tremendous mystical experiences, or things start to unfold much faster in reality, and life becomes more of a dream when I start to make my imagination stronger and stronger and stronger. Again, though, this is not necessary for manifesting, but I just wanted to point it out that if you do persist and kind of force them to become more realistic figures, it has a deeper, profound effect on your reality. Now, I want to mention here, because I said a key word here that I forgot to mention before, and that is effort, okay? What we want to do is make this scene as realistic and as effortless as possible, as if we are actually doing it, right? The feeling is trapped in the seed that we plant in our subconscious. So when we do this scene, we want it to be natural. Naturalness is key. That's what we want to feel, as if it's really happening, because in real life right now, I'm not using any effort, I'm just talking to you. There's no effort in me moving my hands. There's no effort in my voice. And so that we want to catch that, because we're just emulating the natural process of creation. And anyway, after you've done this imaginal act, a bridge of incidents will unfold at any given time. You do not know when, you do not know how, but a certain time and place in this world, you will start to see events unfolding that will then lead you to the end. So anyway, this is how I imagine at night. I do different ways during the day, but this specifically is how I do it at night. And so I hope this was helpful to you. If you like this, please scroll down, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon, go to my website, sovereignmind.com, and thank you for watching. Have a great day.